Hello and welcome to the Convex Conversation with me, broadcaster Helen Fospero. This week's guest has just been to Windsor Castle to receive the OBE from His Royal Highness Prince William for services to the bereaved. We featured former Grange Hill actress and founder of the Good Grief Trust, Linda Magistris, a couple of years ago, and the time seems perfect for an update. Linda lost her partner, BAFTA-winning director Graham Theakston, to a rare cancer in 2014 and really struggled to find the help she needed. So eventually she set up the Good Grief Trust, which has become an invaluable umbrella organisation for lots of different bereavement charities. It's run for the bereaved, by the bereaved, and is supported by actors like Afterlife and Downton star Dame Penelope Wilton, Greg Wise and Todd Carty. The Trust is kicking off National Grief Awareness Week at the beginning of December with a new national campaign centred around growing with grief, and has just brought out a pocket-sized book which will be widely used across organisations like the NHS to help people cope with loss. Linda, huge congratulations on your OBE. How do you feel about being honoured?
Thank you, Helen. Overwhelmed, I think, is probably how I feel. It was just such a huge surprise before the birthday honours were announced, and I just got this email, and they've been actually trying to chase me down. The letter had gone to a previous address, and it was just incredible to speak to the team and to hear those words. Congratulations, you're being awarded an OBE for services to the bereaved, and makes me very emotional even just saying it now. Gosh. So yes, I mean, it's been, obviously Graham died 11 years ago. I've been running the charity for 9 years, and it's just wonderful to have our work acknowledged by His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales, and to be able to meet him. And I even had time to talk to him about the charity, which was just incredible and such a huge honor to be able to explain why I started the charity and our vision really going forward, it was such a memorable day. It was incredible.
What sort of things did you have a chance to tell him, Linda?
Well, he was very interested in our little badge, our little orange badge, which I wear everywhere, of course. And I had a pop of orange with my hat. So, yes, he wanted to know how we brought all the charities together, how we decided where all those charities and support services and helplines were to go under our database. And he was very interested in our little cards, our Good Grief cards, which are these. So these are the tool that most bereavement teams now use across the UK. It's a combined condolence and signposting tool. So he was very interested in the resources that we have available for the NHS and many people who are supporting the bereaved. And of course, he's had such an impact with losing his mother as well. So I think for him, I hope it was an interesting charity to talk to me about, and our vision going forward, really, to keep making sure that those people who are bereaved up and down the country under any circumstance know that what we call help and hope is available from day one. So it was just incredible to be able to explain my vision, because I've been very passionate from day one to try and help improve services across the UK, and to have it recognised on a national level is just overwhelming. Yeah.
What was the actual experience like of going to Windsor Castle, and also presumably one of the toughest parts is choosing the outfit? I mean, you looked absolutely stunning, but having been to a ceremony myself, not for me receiving an OBE, but guiding a blind friend to receive his OBE, I know that the outfit's a major issue.
It really was, and it was very stressful, I have to say. Many months of trying to find the right look, because I wanted to have a fitting tribute to the charity, as well as, obviously, it was a personal honor, an accolade for me, but I wanted to honor our work at the Good Grief Trust. And I had my mum with me, and I had my children, and my mum is 90. We lost my dad 25 years ago. And again, I'm going to go get all emotional again. This week, actually, he died 25 years ago. So to have my mum there, who's been through that grief herself, and to be able to be in the same room, and a few meters, or probably not even that, away from the future King of England, was just incredible. And we were treated so well. And my mom sort of went up the the long walk in a golf buggy, and we waved her off and we walked up, and we were just looked after every turn that you went through the castle on the way to the Garter throne room, because I think those who receive the knighthood and the OBE are taken to the most special room, which was just absolutely incredible. And we had wonderful people who took their time to explain what each room was about and the honor, and just kept saying congratulations, which was just so wonderful. It really was. And then to have that moment when you're in the room with other people as well. Obviously, there are people in front of you and people behind in the queue, and you get to chat to them and learn, what they've been honored for as well, which was just wonderful and a real eye opener actually to the work that's being done across the UK, which was just wonderful to be involved and be in that community and have that excitement, In the gift shop afterwards, everyone was chatting and congratulating each other and buying little gifts and keepsakes. It was just such a memorable day. Yeah.
I think it's really nice to hear that you actually had time to talk properly to Prince William. You may have seen recently him chatting to Rhiannon Mannings, the lady who lost her 1-year-old baby, and 5 days later, sadly, her husband committed suicide, and Prince William interviewed her round her kitchen table and got very choked up himself. We're actually featuring Rhiannon in the next couple of weeks on the podcast, but I think he's quite an incredible person, and it's not a surprise to hear that he gave you that time and was very interested in what you've managed to achieve so far and what your hopes are for the charity moving forward.
He was incredibly interested and attentive. We know Rhiannon very well. She's a very good friend of mine. And it was through Rhiannon's story, actually, many years ago, watching Prince William and Princess Catherine and Prince Harry, actually, in their Mind Over Marathon BBC documentary featuring Rhiannon. And I watched it on the television, and I was very early on with creating the charity, and it incensed me. It was absolutely something that drove me forward to realize I was doing the right thing, because when Rhiannon lost her little boy George, and then 5 days later Paul took his own life, it was because they were not supported, and it was because she only went home with a leaflet, and nobody telephoned her and nobody checked from day one. So she puts down this incredible charity that she's created, to Wish, which is under our umbrella, to the fact that nobody really reached out to them. And that, again, really solidified my vision for the charity and for the UK, to make sure that anyone grieving under any circumstance from day one receives the help. We can't wait, as was completely evident with Paul taking his own life. You cannot wait. You have to supply and provide that support and awareness very early on. So it was very poignant for me to watch that interview with Prince William and Rhiannon at the table, because he's obviously incredibly touched by her story, and I know they've kept in touch over the years since that first documentary. So yeah, it's so important that these people, who are so incredibly influential and can help us maybe in the future.
Absolutely. Well, your OBE is for services for the bereaved, and to use the former Prime Minister Theresa May's sentiments, who would have thought that in your case and in Rhiannon's case, such a tremendous force for good could come from such devastating personal tragedy? And that's happened for you and for Rhiannon, and probably for a lot of other people who have struggled. And I would imagine, particularly with bereavement, perhaps a lot of bereavement charities have been born out of a frustration of not having the support.
They really have. We have over 1,000 charities, support services, helplines under our umbrella, tailored services, because we know that, grief is completely unique, and it depends on who we've lost, the relationship that we've had with them, as to the support that we need. And it's really important that we signpost to those tailored specialist services. And many of them, as you say, have been created from the passion and sadly the really probably incredibly overwhelmingly negative and devastating experience of losing somebody special to you. But it has driven so many people to create support services which are absolutely outstanding. And it's wonderful to see them thrive. And that's what we want to do at the Good Grief Trust, is give these small charities and the larger charities, whoever they are across the UK, a platform to raise their profile, because the job that they're doing is so valuable and it needs to get to the people who need it. So, for example, as somebody who's lost a baby, there are incredible women and families who have created charities to help people and families, bereaved parents, for child loss. The same things through suicide and heart conditions, etc. So, depending on who you've lost and the way that you've lost them, it's very important to find someone who's been through that similar experience, and it can be your lifeline.
It absolutely can. You do so many important things, and one thing I've noticed is that you're kicking off National Grief Awareness Week. That's at the beginning of December. What's the idea behind that, Linda, and what are you hoping that accomplishes and achieves?
So yes, we created this campaign back in 2019. So we're now in our 7th year, and it runs between the 2nd to the 8th of December every year. A difficult time of year for so many people who are grieving, not only for Christmas, but those really dark, lonely months. So yes, this year is a different theme. Every year we have a new campaign theme, and this year it's growing with grief. So we have these little seed packets, actually. So we've got them here, growing with grief. So we want people to plant a seed in memory of someone special this Christmas. We want them to keep in touch with us, not just for Christmas, but all through the spring. We want them to share photographs of the seed growing. And we hope that this will give people the resilience and the strength to know that actually from those awful, devastating times, new shoots can grow. And we also have our wonderful walk and talk events. So we want people to get out into nature this year. We know the benefit of getting out into the fresh air, mixing with friends and family in our community. So we're having walk and talk events between the 2nd to the 8th of December as well. So please do get involved this year.
I think as a nation, we seem to find it awkward to talk about grief. If somebody's lost somebody, you err on the side of caution because you're not quite sure what to say or whether you should say anything. But it's really, really important to have conversations, isn't it, and talk about it.
It really is. And please do look on the National Grief Awareness Week website, because throughout the years, we've created so many different posters and messaging. So all that is completely relevant. Yes, it's all about trying to open up conversations and bust that taboo around Christmas, particularly because so many people are obviously having a wonderful time with friends and family, but there are hundreds of thousands of people up and down the UK who will be having an incredibly difficult time. So it's trying to reach out to them and explain, maybe to invite them to some of your parties and festivities, but maybe not get cross and sort of angry if they say no, because actually grief changes. So please do just keep inviting them. So one day they'll say yes and one day they'll say no. But it's a very, very difficult time, and a time to get in trust, to get together as a community and to support each other.
You've also brought out a very cute looking pocket-sized book. Tell us about Help and Hope.
Yes, well, this is a collaboration with Grief Kid, actually, which is a wonderful author. She has an Instagram account, and we saw this a couple of years ago, actually. She sadly lost her mum and her brother, but she's created Grief Kid, which is this wonderful little stick character that is very honest, and explains really in very simple terms how to normalize all those really complicated grief feelings. So it's a little pocket-sized book. We'd love everyone to grab one from our shop and to feel as though that the feelings that you have are normalized, that you're not going crazy. But there's also a lovely little gift for friends and family to give to someone who's grieving. And as you say, if they don't know what to say, just maybe give this, and then hopefully that will help somebody to understand that you really want to help and support them.
You've done such amazing work over the last 9 years, Linda. Where are you going next? What does the next decade hold, do you think, for the Good Grief Trust?
Well, to go back to the cards, really, this is so important to us. This signposting tool, we want the cards to be in the hands of every single person who is bereaved across the UK. Over 650,000 people die every year, and we know we have no idea how it's going to affect us until it happens to us. So to have a tangible resource that offers help and hope immediate signposted, access to tailored support services from day one is absolutely vital. So we're working with the government. We want to get this funded to make sure that every NHS trust has these. We want to make sure that the GP practices, community services also use this resource, as well as funeral directors, schools and universities. So it's very, very important that we bring these resources together and that we collaborate as a sector and make sure that we create one standardized tool that is available to everybody.
It's such a simple idea to get that into all those kinds of places, into hospitals, into doctors' surgeries, universities. I wish you luck with that. I think it's such a great idea. It's been great to see you again, Linda. Linda Magistris OBE.
Thank you so much. It's been absolutely wonderful to share these very special moments that have been recent for me. So thank you for helping us raise awareness of the charity. Yeah, very grateful and lovely to see you again, Helen.